Well, this project was started by a guy named Cleve Trimble, probably 4 or 5 or even 6 years ago, and he ended up selling part of his ranch to Paul Schock from Sioux Falls, and along with the land where the golf project was planned. And so Paul basically kind of inherited the golf project should he choose to do it, and he chose to do it since he loves golf so much. And so he called me, and just kind of on a whim, I think, and I flew out and met with him in December of 2006, and a year and a half later, here we are ready to start construction. Well, the routing obviously is the most important part of the whole process out here, in my opinion. And it was a year and a half in the works to this point, and we're still making adjustments. Just a lot of time spent on site. I mean, the topo, there's just so much going on out here that the topo, can be of some help, but it really doesn't give you the real picture. I mean, all the little subtle nuances of the slopes and the topography, you need to actually walk the site to understand it. And so Chris Brands and I have just spent days and days and days and days over the last year and a half just out here walking and staking and putting it on paper and going back home and strategizing and trying to connect the dots, and then coming back out here and checking to see how it works. And most often it was good but not great, and just bit by bit we just got it better and better and better to the point where now we feel very confident that we have 18 superb golf holes. I think we figured out that we've probably been out here maybe 3 days to 4 days a month for the last year and a half. That would probably be about right, so you can kind of figure out that 18 months times 3, I'd say 50 days, something like that. This is one of these places that I walked onto the very first day that I came here, and actually saw it from that angle coming this way. And then as we ended up walking back and looking at it from the other direction, this to me felt almost the most like Irish and Scottish links golf of any golf hole on this whole golf course. Just the natural dunes, the ruggedness, the shape, the natural site for a green, the natural places for tees, the natural blowouts that kind of front it. I mean, there's everything about it just, to me, fit. It just has the right balance, the right feel, the right length. Everything about it is something that I fell in love with. Well, for feelings, I mean, it's easy to talk about your feelings. I mean, I absolutely love golf. I'm passionate about golf, both playing and designing. There's nothing about either that I don't just get super jacked about. I love to work on my game. I love to compete, and I love walking off the course and thinking about designing golf courses. And I look forward to trips to Valentine, for example, every bit as much as I look forward to going to the British Open. You can't really separate any of it. So, and I think that works actually in my favor. The passion for playing and the passion for designing, I think they both work to make the other side better. So, as far as golf course design goes, you always hear that the routing is the key, and I think it really is. The routing is what makes sense of the golf course. It's what makes the golf course look and feel and play great, or by doing it poorly, it's what makes the course feel like, it really doesn't work and it costs way more than you should have spent. And a bad routing leads to having to do things to compensate. It's much like a bad golf swing. You have a bad grip, you've got to compensate for the bad grip. Well, a bad routing causes you to compensate by doing all kinds of other things that you shouldn't have to do. So, so to get the routing right, makes everybody's job a lot easier, and it makes the experience much better for the player. Yeah, the greens are the key to almost any golf course, in my opinion. You have great green locations with great green sites. You're so far ahead of the game. I mean, not having to create the green makes golf so much more special. That's just my opinion. So I love Shinnecock. I think Shinnecock is fantastic, and they've got great greens out there, and they're for the most part extremely natural. St. Andrews is probably my second favorite place to play, and what can you say about St. Andrews? There's nothing manufactured about that course at all. So the golf courses with a really natural green sites with the drama around it are what appeal to me. So, you know, there are the aberrations. I mean, you have, of course, like Pinehurst #2, which is completely manufactured to the most part with the greens, but you know, it took a genius to do it. So there are you know, more than one way to skin a cat. Right. Well, the battle that I face, you know, as a competitive professional golfer is that I get looked at, you know, by the critics, by the people who are on the inside of golf course design as being, you know, in some ways sort of a pretender, you know, that that I must not be involved, I must not be passionate. You know, I'm probably just going to lend my name and, you know, kind of be there for the grand opening and for the first shovelful that gets dug out, and that's about it. And you know, it couldn't be further from the truth. You know, so I guess this is a great opportunity for us to kind of prove, you know, to ourselves, to our team as a group, you know, that we're capable of taking a great piece of land and enhancing it in a way. Because I think great golf does do that. Great golf does take a great piece of land and basically kind of enhances it. It's like putting the right dress on a beautiful woman. You know, it's like it just makes it so much better, even better than it was. So you know, putting the golf course in the right place, you know, is a great testimony to probably your skills as a designer. And so, you know, I'm quite proud actually of what we've done so far here. I feel like we have a routing that's extremely good, and it's a routing that kind of makes it easier for the rest of our team to come out and shape and build and to do it right. And I think the owner at the end of the day would be very, very happy. And you know, if he's happy and people love to play it, you know, then I'm happy.